Ants! Ants! Everywhere! Ah! And welcome back. It's another early morning record show, so happy to have you along for another fun-filled ride. So the opening. Can you believe that I have a hard time getting my wife sometimes to go with me to places because she's afraid I'm going to embarrass her by doing something out in public? It's just, I think senior citizens can run around and act stupid like everyone else. So, yeah. But that's Dow Gardens is having a sculpture, an insect sculpture. So everything's made out of wood, and so they're out in different spots within the garden, and pretty cool. Just, of course, the gardens are beautiful every time of year. Even during the winter, they're pretty. So that's where that was from. Update on Bill Young. And so this video, actually, we're doing part of a thread for him. But Bill, on Friday, his wife Bridget notified me that things weren't looking good. And they were actually told to call family members and bring them in. Because they just didn't know. It looked like it was coming to an end. And that was, depressing as hell. But late yesterday, she posted on Facebook that he's in ICU still down in Ann Arbor, but he's fighting it, and he's hanging in there. So, really, fingers crossed, thoughts, prayers, whatever, that he makes it through. A lot of folks don't know Bill Young is a well-known and extremely well-respected record collector in Michigan. And he started Michigan Record Club, which has thousands of people in it. But he can walk into a record show and people know that's Bill Young. That's Bill Young. His collection is highly regarded as just an outstanding collection, and there's just so much respect for him. And he's a big deal in collecting up here, and probably in other places. So, and if you've seen his collection, it's like a pretty amazing. It's just been an absolute pleasure, to get to know him well. Oh, here's Kat, by the way. Kat says hi. So, I'm pray like heck he pulls through. And so I want to give you an update. On Friday, Chris, Blue Skies Vinyl, I talked about, I want to do some kind of, video or whatever for Bill. And Chris did. He came up with 5 Psych albums for Bill. And those with a channel, if you could, do something. If he pulls through, it would be great for him to have this. And just hashtag Michigan Record Club. Dang it, I wore the wrong shirt. I was going to wear his shirt again. Sometimes you just kind of forget at 4 in the morning what you're putting on. But hashtag Michigan Record Club, so it'll be easier. I guess for him to find. I guess that's how those things work. Just for Bill. I would truly appreciate that. He really would appreciate that. Now he can't, obviously he's not doing anything. Can't see anything, he can't do the text or anything. I tried, his wife's been good on, let me know when she can, but obviously it's like, well, I better tell Steve what's going on. Probably not happening a lot, but 5 Psych albums for Bill Young. And if you, that would be, that'd be great. That'd be really nice. So we're going to have that, okay? We're going to have that. We just recently done our favorite Psych albums, and so I was glad we got that done. And we'll do this also on last night. Jim Gleason at Radio Wasteland. That's his channel, Radio Wasteland. He me and him did a collaboration on some Velvet Underground, and it was a good video. I say the word absolutely 50 times at least. It seemed to be my catchphrase. So it is a cool video. I'm going to try and put a link. I'll probably mess it up, but we're going to try. So let's get this one going here with my purring cat. I picked a record collection. That was my midweek. If you hadn't seen that, it was a big collection, and yeah, with limited space. And everyone, hey, did you get this, get that? Most of you would have just probably bought the whole collection. I don't have time or energy to go through, sell it, clean it, or whatever. But it was a lot of fun, and of all, I sure could have picked up more, but I did. You pick and choose what you wanted, so that's what I did. But I want to start today with a Grail, and it isn't like the super rare, and that's generally what I think of Grail super rare. For me, it's a personal one to complete an important set of a group that's probably most important group in my collection, and this is the one. I just needed the final OG to have it all, and there it is, the Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat. This finally, oh man, I can't, the excitement, this group and looking at this, it was just incredible. This is the Velvet Underground's second album that came out in 1967 on Verve. It cracks me up. Verve, the Velvet Underground, they had no idea. I think it was just more Andy Warhol. It got them to go on, and they were able to do whatever they wanted, and that's the great thing. There was just someone on Verve's roster who go, this is it, this is the band. I don't know if he stayed, if he got fired or what, but this is their second album. They had fired Andy Warhol as their manager. I mean, he really didn't do anything, but he gave them attention. He created interest, and people would just go to see them in hopes of seeing Andy Warhol or some of his factory. But their new manager now was Steve Sesnick. Steve Sesnick, he was the owner of the Boston Tea Party, the club in Boston. And these guys almost like became residents there. A lot of clubs didn't want them around. Even in New York, they couldn't get a lot of places to play. But Sesnick let them play at the Boston Tea Party. They played there a lot. That's where Jonathan Richman from Modern Lovers fame got to meet them. Well, by this time, this album is Reed versus Cale. Sesnick pitted those two against each other. Sesnick really liked Reed and was always whispering things within his ear, but Reed and Cale weren't talking now, and they would relay everything through Sesnick, so who knows what he said. Cale, he wanted to make what he called music that is troublesome to people. This is where he wanted to go. He called it heavy metal, heavy metal with brains is the type of that he was looking to have. Very loud volume, high speed music, anti-beauty. It's all how he was doing it. And this album was fueled by drugs. So I don't know, probably just holding it. I'm getting a high or something. Reed, on the other hand, he wanted to write pretty songs. He wanted to write gentle love songs. And on the final one, once Cale left, you saw Velvet Underground really head into that direction. Well, they got this recorded, but Reed was just so fed up. He didn't like Cale. Cale wasn't liking him. And but Sterling Morris and Mo Tucker really liked Cale. Well, finally, you know what? Reed wasn't one for doing the dirty work. He finally told Morrison, you go fire Cale. Morrison likes Cale. In fact, Morrison was in the camp where he wanted to make songs that just blasted the house down. That's what he wanted to do, but he had to go over and fire Cale. And he always remained very bitter about having to do that. So this album is a mixture. This is, you know, the second one with John Cale. For many people, this is the Velvet Underground album that's the hardest to swallow. And I get it. It took me for years. But now I absolutely love what I hear in here because of John Cale, the drone that he has going on. White Light, White Heat, which I'll play a sample, which, you know, it's, I can never monetize all these samples, you know. And well, you know, any money you make, we're going to take. Okie dokie. The gifts on here, which is kind of like a story. Lady Godiva's Operation. Very interesting, very kind of strange. The vocals, two different songs are being sung. Really different. There She Comes Now, a quiet song. I Heard Her Call My Name, fast paced, and then of course Sister Ray, which is like a droning classic that even Vinyl Richie has a hard time with. I've learned to really, really like that song, and they would play that for over a half hour on concerts. Just an incredibly important album. A changing one. The drone especially was taken onto new levels by so many groups. You know, Suicide really grabbed onto droning as they wanted to make anti-rock. So this is the final piece of the Velvet Underground puzzle that I needed. And now with all originals, it's just like, yeah, it's beyond excitement for me. It's you're record collectors. You get it. You understand. I also did pick up this one. I hadn't had this one back in the collection, so it should be on like a Thursday show. This is Max's in Kansas City. This was a concert. They were in Kansas City. They did a 10-week residency. We got the inner sleeves. 10-week residency at Max's in Kansas City. And this wasn't released till 1977, though, because it's basically done on a tape recorder sitting on a table. So shall we say sound quality is not that great, but it's still good enough. And I'll play you a sample. You can kind of hear it. You know, here they had just done Loaded, so you're getting some of the songs from Loaded on here. So you can kind of hear what they sound like. And they do really good. What's different on here is Mo Tucker was not on drums. I believe she was having her baby. They brought in Billy Ewell. Now, when you listen to White Light, White Heat, on there, Tucker's drumming is just steady. It's just this. There's no cymbals. There's no crashing. There's no rolls. There's boom, 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 just like that. And she picks up the piece. She slows down the beat, but it's boom, 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 boom. Like she had one drum, which for a long time she only had one drum. Here you have Billy Ewell, which was Doug Ewell's brother, and he's crashing the cymbals, he's rolling the drums. The drumming is so different. It's interesting, but it's not Mo Tucker. And, you know, Mo Tucker is much more primitive, and he's a rock and roll drummer. And so you get a totally different sound off of this. So, you know, different. It's fun to have. Just, you know, 10-week at Max's in Kansas City. You know, CBGB's and Max's, you know, eventually became the two spots. Some groups only went here. And some groups, and usually they wanted signed groups only, while unsigned ones went to CBGB's. Interesting. I could do a whole video on that, but great record. This is rare record. very rare, hard to get, hard to find. This was only released in France, and the name of it, the name of the person is Keith Mahalouv, Mlevhu. I don't know. I don't even have a clue how you would ever say that. Zamrock. This Love and Freedom. This is the second album by Keith. Extreme hard to find. If you look on Discogs, 47 have it, 354 want it. And this is, I had recently picked this up from Dylan at Noble Records. Love and Freedom, again, second album. Keith was born in 1950, passed in 88 from Zambia. He was in so many different youth bands, just one after another. I couldn't even list them all. But then he decided to go to college. He wanted to go to college. He went for 3 years to study music. He was so talented and so good, he actually became a lecturer within college. Well, he left and began creating his own music under his own names. And this album, he went and he recorded this in Nairobi. So, yeah, and this is the first Zamrock album that was done in color. So Love and Peace, you can see there's some protest in here. If you look, he's holding the world. Where's this axe at? That axe is squarely on South Africa because of all the stuff that was going on. The album itself, there's Afro pop, but also Afro psyche would be involved, because you'll hear all a bunch of fuzz. The fuzz is just killer, the guitar is killer, but yet it'll quiet down into more of pop type music. This was released only in France, but it is a just an amazing, incredible album. I'm going to play 2 tracks, a softer one and a harder one, so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. Incredible album. Just another important piece of the Zamrock that I've been able to bring in. And I have, Dylan from Noble Records, again, thank you. He's helped me get some of these and it's been very kind at shipping them this way. It's not kind to your bank account, though. Isn't I could tell my wife, hey, guess what? How much I paid for this one? No. Hey, guess how much that one's worth? Yes. Five Psych Albums. First one, it's a group. I'm giving you a twofer from this group. And it's the Dolly Rocker Movement. The Dolly Rocker Movement. A few weeks back, I showed their third album. I was then watching the channel, one of my favorite channels, 33 RPM Vinyl by Jeff. And he plays samples. He doesn't talk a lot about the albums. He lets the music do the talking, and he really keeps up with the newer Psych stuff. Well, he showed these and said they have both been reissued. Well, sure as heck they had been, so I got them. So we have here Electric Sunshine. This came out in 2006. And A Purple Journey Through the Mad Machine came out in 2007. That's a big title for something that you really can't even read. So the Dolly Rocker Movement is a band that is out of Australia, formed in 2002, broke up in 2013. A neo-psych band, kind of electro-acoustic psychedelia, but definitely updated. I mean, it has, a lot of Hammond organs, sounds great, and they like their fuzz box. You could call it sunshine pop, electric pop, garage pop, all that's part of the music. I don't think there's anything special. Well, it is. You have a beautiful orange on there, and this one comes in, ooh, raspberry. We're going to go with that. And it does have a, nope, that's just it. Oh, insert. Hey, man, I wonder why I didn't get an insert on that one. Sheep ass. Ah, it does. Sorry. I didn't mean to dish them. So, the Dolly Rocker Movement. Great band, fantastic. If you want some of the newer, not, whacked out psych, but extremely good stuff out of Australia. And these have been reissued, well worth looking into. Next Psych album. This one would be Bill Young approved. He may not approve of that one, yeah, but he likes the newer stuff. I like to find the newer stuff. That's what I like. But this one here, many of you know this if you like Psych. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's the name of the band. Tomorrow's the name of the album. And it was done yesterday, though. Tomorrow's from London. Formed in 67. Broke in 68. Psych rock. Maybe one of the very, very first ones. They're right there with Pink Floyd. They were originally part of a band called 4+1, then the band called the In Crowd. But this is one of the first British psych bands. This is just so darn good. It has on here, it starts with sample I'm going to play is My White Bicycle. First time I ever heard My White Bicycle was from Nazareth, and I thought they made that song. It was on Nazareth Greatest Hits, but no, it came from these guys, and it is just a fun, fuzzy thing. I mean, this checks off the boxes, the psych boxes. Sitars, check. Fuzzy guitars, check. Trippy lyrics, check. Use of echo, check. It's all on there. This is great. Steve Howe, he even played in this group in 67. The drummer Twink is a member of this thing. Absolutely incredible. This reissue can be found still. Tomorrow, I couldn't recommend this sucker enough. I love this. Bill Young approved. This here, I think I saw this on, it might have been Brian had shown this one, Cosmic Brian. But this is Truth and Janey. They're out of Iowa. Yes. No, come on. Why the... All right, don't sit. Do not sit on the records. You can sit on that part. Truth and Janey, sorry. Hard rock, psych rock, they formed in 69, broke up in 76. They are part of the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yes, the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Brian, Cosmic Brian, I have put you in to be part of that. I'm writing you in. You need to be there, my friend. So, we do have in our lyrics, on here. I think this is the only album they did. Truth and Janey. Truth came from Jack Beck's album Truth, Janey, because one of the members was, his last name is Janey. God, what was his name? Billy Lee Janey. There we go. This is just, it's great rock. Just a lot of fun. It's called No Rest for the Wicked. That's the name of the album. No Rest for the Wicked. And it's sold maybe 1,000 copies. That's it. So to find an original, you're going to pay. Dylan No Records, no doubt, has an original. So this is hard rocking, but there's lots of fuzzy guitars, a Psych feel within it, and I'm going to count it as part of Psych. If not hard rock, Bill Young loves hard rock. So, I don't know, probably Bill Young has it. But this is a great album, again, inspired by VC. I saw it on there, out of Iowa. Rock and roll, the rock and roll state of this, you know, of our United States. Everything cool comes out of Iowa. Right. Okay. Final one, Funkadelic. Holy mother of God. This here's an original. And from Westbound Records. There you go. Formed in 68, broken up in 82 out of New Jersey. This is, you know, from George Clinton. You know, they were doing doo-wop. And then they decided, let's become a guitar band. And let's draw a mix of psychedelic, rock, and soul. Excuse me. Oh, wow. I am allergic to you, dude. And funk, and let's put it all together. So in 1970, they came out with Funkadelic. Eddie Hazel's guitar playing is insane on there. This is drug-fueled, hard, fuzzy guitars all over it. This album scared the bejesus out of their fans, both black and white. It was so out there. It is so cool. It's spaced out, psych, funk, acid rock. It is there. It's bizarre, just incredible. Steady rhythms, dense arrangements fill it, and just the choruses and vocals, amazing stuff. I don't have the original inner sleeve on it. This copy really crackles. It's snap, crackle, pop. It's just I hadn't seen an original, so I bought it. I have bought, and I think since then, a new reissue that came out in 2018, so I can have something I can really listen to well, but just the coolness of having an original of a definite psych, funky classic. Incredibly good album. Absolutely incredible. So there it is, our top psych albums, some music for Bill Young. And so please, if you would give consideration to doing this thread, 5 psych albums for Bill Young, I'd be most appreciative. It would be really cool. It'll help, you know what, in anything we do to help Bill, because definitely. And please check out Michigan Record Club. Check out his channel. Drop a note to him. Again, he's not reading them right now. He's out. But it was good to at least hear something positive yesterday. So, you know, thoughts and prayers for him, for Bridget, and the rest of the family. Just wonderful people. Just salt of the earth. So, thank you, everyone. Yeah, we'll see you midweek. Bye.